All right, so this is going to be a little bit of a different concept, so to speak, because what I want you to do, this is to ultimately develop your situation, get yourself into a better position financially, keep yourself safe, secure, and build your credit all at the same time, right? Stop living off your debit card. This seems weird, right? It really does. It seems weird because, like, you've heard a lot of financial advisors and things talk about the idea of don't live off of credit cards, right? And ultimately, it's a dangerous and slippery slope because what you want to do is you don't want to allow yourself to get into debt. Personally, you want to be leveraged in business, but personally, you want to be free of debt. But that's a little tricky, okay? What it comes down to is discipline. You've got to be firm and strict and very structured in what you do. So you need to have at least one, maybe a couple credit cards, right? And again, this sounds weird because a lot of financial advisors are advising against credit cards, but not all of them are, just some of them. So the thing is what you need is, like I said, you need a credit card. With that credit card, you need to live off this credit card, but never live beyond your means. Now, see, this is where the discipline comes in because you need to know what you're going to bring in for the month, right? See, a lot of people live off their debit card because they live paycheck to paycheck. They get their money, then they keep going to the store, out to eat, get gas, whatever they need, wherever they go, whatever they do, they swipey that debit card. And then eventually they check their balance and they're like, only got $12 left, only got $40 left, only got $80 left, only got $5 left. And how many days till payday? But that's what most people do. That's what a good portion of people in the country do right now. Everybody's living off that debit card because they're living paycheck to paycheck. First of all, you have to get past the mindset of living paycheck to paycheck. You need to know what your paycheck's going to be, roughly. I mean, ultimately, some people, a good majority of people are working hourly, right? And a good majority of those people working hourly, sometimes their hours are slightly shorter. Sometimes they get a little overtime. Sometimes they get a little less. It just depends on their job, depends on the business, depends on the fluctuations and what's going on, where they're working, what they're doing. So you need to account for those fluctuations. You need to make accommodations in your budget for that. Budgeting is expected money. You need to expect what you're going to get. And most of us are capable of doing this. Now, you may normally, let's say, you normally get, your check is, let's say, $1,200 a week, right? Let's see, it's even less, $500 a week. Some people are living on $500 a week. Some people are living on $1,200 a week. Some people are living on, more or less. It doesn't matter. What the point is I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea that I'm speaking to people with deeper pockets or people with smaller pockets, because it doesn't matter. How many people have you heard about in the news that are movie stars or, musicians, artists, athletes? How many athletes? They got millions and millions of dollars sign-on bonus to sign with the team they signed with. 5 years later, they didn't turn out to be the huge success that they were going to be. And then they're doing infomercials because they are literally busted, like flat broke, like beyond broke. They're literally owe money to the IRS because they didn't know how to properly pay their taxes when they got the big bonus in the first place. Okay, so this happens. It doesn't matter whether you're a millionaire or you're making minimum wage. This is what you got to do. You've got to say, well, I expect to get this paycheck is going to be $500. Well, normally I get about 500. Sometimes it's 520. Sometimes it's 470. Okay, how often is it under 500? If it's more times than not over 500, then budget for 500. If it's more times than not over 1,000, then budget for 1,000. What you've got to do is just estimate. Now, if you're one of these big ballin' people and you're making millions, you're making $100,000, $200,000, $500,000 a year, yeah, your budget may be different. First of all, your budget shouldn't be that much different because you shouldn't start. What was it? There was an athlete It was a basketball player, just like 2 years ago. He signed he signed his contract, got a sign-on bonus, and then he got his yearly salary for like the last couple of years. And then he was in an interview and he said he hasn't even touched his salary yet. He said he was working before he got his sign-on bonus, and then, or it was before he got signed, and then his sign-on bonus was enough that he's living off of his sign-on bonus and he hasn't even touched his actual base salary. That's incredible. That's how a lot of people should do it, but they don't. Most people don't. And then you should take part of that and start investing it. But that's, again, a whole nother topic, and that's directed towards one demographic. The demographic I'm talking to is anybody and everyone who's receiving money. I don't care how much it is. My mom, she was on disability. She was unable to work anymore. She was on disability, and she was getting... I don't remember. But she was basically getting these 2 small checks every month. My mom was living off of less than $1,000 a month. And it was just a couple years ago that she passed away. Just a few years ago she passed away. She was living off of less than $1,000 a month. My mom budgeted every penny. She knew what her checks were going to be. Now, see, someone who's living like that has the exact... People who are living on Social Security and stuff, they know exactly the check that they're going to get. Veterans, they know exactly the check they're going to get. People in the military, they know exactly the check they're going to get. It should be very easy for y'all to budget. But the people who are living an hourly wage or get bonuses or things like that, your checks fluctuate. So you get an estimate of what your budget is. You estimate what it's going to be. And that estimate should be slightly under what it is. Because if ever there's a fluctuation, if ever you come up short, you want that shortness to be compensated for. Then you need to not live off paycheck to paycheck. You need to have that budget, plan it out, and then you need to live off your credit card. If you have a credit card, pay it off. Like as quickly as possible, pay it off. Go pay it off right now. If you have a $500 credit card, pay it off with your next check. Now, I'm not telling you to put yourself in a bind. I'm not telling you to mess your world up. If you've got rent coming, your bills coming in, I'm not telling you to do that. But find a way in the next month to, over the next course of the next few paychecks, pay that credit card off. If you don't have a credit card, apply for one. Anybody who has a job can get a credit card. Then, once you have your credit card paid off, that is your lifeblood. That is how you take care of your business. That is how you pay for things. You need to go to the grocery store. Okay, what's your budget for the grocery store? You already mapped it out on your budget. Not what is the limit on your card. What is on your budget? You said you were going to spend $100 a week. Okay, fine. $100 a week. Now, like I said, I just threw out a number. It doesn't matter. Because some people have bigger families and some people got to spend more and some people are single. So it doesn't matter what your budget is. Like I said, just for argument's sake, I threw out a number. So if your budget is $100 a week, then that means you have $400 on that card to spend for groceries. No more than $100 each week. Each week you spend $100, no more. Then, how much did you budget for gas? Oh, you budgeted this much for gas. Okay, so that much for gas. Now, there are some cities and some electric companies that allow you to pay with your credit card. There are some that do not. If your electric company does not allow you to pay credit card, then obviously leave the amount for your estimated electric bill, leave that in your bank account and don't put that on your credit card. If your electric company allows you to pay it, then pay your electric bill with your credit card. If your phone bill allows you, your cell phone, some cell phone carriers allow you to pay with credit cards, some do not. The ones that allow you to, pay it with your credit card. Again, if you can put everything, you go fill up your gas, what's your monthly gas budget? What's your weekly gas budget? Did you budget $60 a week? Did you budget $30? Did you budget $100? You know, you got a big truck, you're a construction guy and you drive that truck in and out of town. Did you budget $150 a week for gas? Whatever you budgeted for that week, make sure you have that allotment on your credit card. Now, some people, your first credit card, your second credit card, you may not get that big of a balance. Hopefully, you can get 2 credit cards then, and hopefully them combined will be big enough to handle your bills. And in 2 weeks, hopefully you can get one to the big enough that will cover your monthly expenses. A lot of times, if this is your first effort, it may not happen the first try. You may have to give it a couple of cycles, right? So do what you can. Live off your credit card as much as possible. Then, at the end of the month, don't even wait for your statement. At the end of the month, just pay your balance. Everything's done online now anyways. Get online, pay your balance. I want you to use your debit card for one thing. Paying your credit card. That's it, paying your credit card. Now, if you have to pay, I know there was one place me and my wife were living in, we paid our rent through wire transfer, through bank transfer. They gave us their bank information and we totally just did a bank transfer. Obviously, whatever bill, like I said, I've also had a cell phone that allowed me to pay with credit card, and I've had a cell phone that didn't. So whatever it is that you have to pay out of your bank, pay out of your bank. Whatever you don't have to pay out of your bank, do not. Whatever you can pay with credit card, do. Like I said, this works for two reasons. The more stuff you pay with your credit card, and by the end of the month, you pay it off. Pay it off. Like, leave like $10 balance, a balance of like $10. So you maxed out your credit card. Your credit card was a $1,500 credit card, and you spent $1,400 on that credit card. At the end of the month, you get your check. You pay your card off. You pay off $1,390. You put $1,400 on there. You pay $1,390. You leave $10. That $10 is going to be a small, tiny revolving balance. The interest on $10 is nothing. It's nothing. It's like a couple of pennies. It's nothing. It doesn't matter. So what you do is you leave that $10 on there so that way there's a revolving balance, because having a revolving balance ups your credit score. So this is going to increase your credit score, which increasing your credit score over time, over a few months, they're going to be like, dude, he's got a $1,500 limit. We're opening him to $2,000. All the time. Because what they want you to do is they want you to spend more and they want you to leave more. They want you to leave a bigger balance because that's how they get their interest. So they're thinking, this guy's good for it, we'll give him more, and maybe he'll go over that limit. And then say you get a $2,000 limit, same thing. Your budget is $1,400, don't start spending $2,000, keep spending $1,400. Spend $1,400 and then pay off $1,390. Spend $1,400, pay off $1,390. Spend $1,400, pay off $1,390. This is a cycle, man. This is a cycle. And maybe things elevate at your job and you get in a better position. Now you can start buying, I don't know, a little bit healthier food or something, or you can, whatever reason that you're in a better position and you start spending a little more money, that's fine. Make sure that you're in a better position before you spend more money. Make sure that just because they give you more credit limit, you don't start spending more unless you're making more. You have to make what you're going to spend. You have to. See, people always like, oh, well, I'll spend it and I'll make it later. No. You have the money, then you spend it. You have the money, you spend it on your credit card, you replenish the card. You pay off the card. I got my check. I'm not going to touch it. I have a balance on my credit card, or I have no balance on my credit card. It's paid off. So I'm going to pay all my bills. I'm going to pay for all my expenses, and then I'm going to pay it off with this. That's how you have to do it. Now, the other thing I talked about in the beginning, I mentioned that this is also increases security. I don't know if y'all ever saw the movie Catch Me If You Can, with Tom Hanks and Leonardo DiCaprio. Great movie. It's a true story. It was a true story about Frank Abagnale, who was a scam artist. He was a hustler, man. He scammed all kinds of people, and then he ended up working for the FBI. And when he worked for the FBI, he helps them to catch scammers. Well, something he talked about, I don't know if y'all remember, he actually gave a seminar about this. It was really cool, but I don't know if you were aware or if you knew, but in the early 2000s and mid 2000s, 2010, 2012, around there, and the early teens, there was a big issue with people. They had these little chip things. They could slide into when you ran your credit card, when you paid at the gas pump, right? The card reader at the pump, they could put this little card in there, this little chip, and it could read your card. And they could literally, from one swipe, you swiped your card, they could steal your information. It would copy your credit card. Excuse me, sorry. But so they would copy your credit card, right? They could copy your credit card or your debit card, whatever you were using. Now, the interesting thing, if you've ever been hacked or scammed before, I'm actually with a good bank. It's really cool. USAA is an incredible bank. I've been with USAA for many years now, and USAA's got a lot of security and a lot of, and they're incredible customer service. So they always do everything they can to help you if you ever have an issue and somebody's taking money out of your account. But there's also a process. Even though they're incredible and they're one of the better ones, most banks, there's a window. They've got to investigate, they've got to find out, they've got to understand, they've got to see all this information before they just say, hey, this money was taken from your account, we're just going to give it back to you. Because that money for them, I mean, they have insurance and things like that, but that money for them has been taken and they've got to find out where it was taken from. Because if they just give you money back, then they're losing money. This comes from them, right? So no bank wants to do that. Now, credit cards, on the other hand, if you ever get your credit card stolen, swipe at the gas pump, you swipe somewhere, somebody sees your credit card, you give it over the phone and somebody's tapped into your phone line and they're listening in, they steal your credit card. If somebody gets your credit card, the instant you notice it, like, oh my gosh, there's a charge on there. Now, not everybody's watching their cards that quickly and on top of things like that, but just say you noticed it. If you noticed a charge that was fraudulent on your credit card today, and you noticed a charge that was fraudulent on your debit card today, you call your bank will be like, okay, well, we can put a hold, we can investigate that, but that money is already gone. And it could take anywhere from 48 hours to literally 60 days. They could take up to 60 days to give you your money back. Now, when this is your cash, that's your money, it's gone. Now, the interesting thing is that if you found out there was a fraudulent charge on your credit card, you can call the credit card company, and there's different rules and regulations and things like that because the credit cards are actually backed by other banks and bigger banks with deeper pockets. And what they can do is they will instantly, without hesitation, because they want to keep you in good standing, they want to respect their customer, they want to keep you as a client because you can cancel the card right now. With a bank, you're not going to cancel your bank account instantly. It takes a little bit more of a process. With the debit card or with the credit card, they want to preserve you as their customer because they are receiving a lot more money from you than a bank is. A bank, they're not receiving anything from you really other than more liquidity in their bank. But how much liquidity does one client have? That seems really odd, right? Because you're the customer, but it's just the way it works. Lots of people don't understand that it works that way though. But the bank or the credit card that's backed by a bigger bank, the credit card, what they do, you call them, even the ones that are backed by small banks, you call them and tell them, hey, I got a fraudulent charge. They will instantly put a hold on your card. They can cancel your card, reissue a new card, send it to you right away. They will overturn that payment, put the balance back on your card because ultimately it was credit anyways. It wasn't real money. It's credit. You're charging and paying off a balance. So they will just put the money, put the balance, they'll reissue a credit back to your charge account on your credit card, and they will do the investigation afterwards. So you can have your money back sometimes within minutes, but at least at the longest within 48 hours. And that's if you call on the weekend. Now, so like I said, I mentioned Abagnale. Abagnale actually gave a seminar explaining that this is one of the best ways to secure your money and to keep your money safe because with a credit card, your money is protected. With your bank account, if your actual money is gone, it's taken and it's gone. With a credit card, that money isn't gone because that's not real money. It is a charge account. It is a balance that you owe, but it's not real money. It's not money. It's not money. It's a charge account. Like I said, it's weird to think about these things, but that's the thing is most people don't think about these things. So I want y'all to take the time to really wrap your head around this, and I want you to position yourself in a better situation so that way your money is safe, you can build better credit, you can get financial freedom, you can get to a higher level of stability, you can just better position yourself for your family, for your future. If you're just an individual, a single person, protect your money and yourself. I hope this makes some sense. Like I said, it sounds a little contrary to what some financial advisors say because ultimately most financial advisors are telling you to pay off your debt. Now, I'm telling you to pay off your debt. I'm telling you to live through credit, but pay your balances off. If you live through credit, but pay your balances off, You're not living in debt. You're just managing your debt. You're managing a charge account. So that way your money is secure, your money is safe. Your money only is touched through people you trust, like paying your credit card, paying your rent, paying your utility bill or whatever. You use that debit card or that bank account for as little as possible and use credit cards to pay off everything else. And then you pay those balances. But again, I cannot reiterate it enough. It all comes down to discipline. If you're undisciplined, people get carried away with this so easily. They're like, well, I was doing great, man. And now they just up my credit. And now, man, I got a $3,000 credit limit. I've been living off of like $1,800. I almost doubled my credit. It's like, yeah, you doubled your credit. You didn't double your income. Until you double your income, you can't start living at that level. Otherwise, you get yourself in a bad place. You will get yourself into a hole that I've done it. Lots of you have done it. So many have done it. You get yourself in a hole that's so hard to dig out. And you got to fight, man. You got to fight to get out of it. So I don't want you to get in that hole. Like I said, at the end of the day, what I want you to do is keep your mindset and focus on that discipline. Have your budget balanced out. Like have it all the details, all the numbers, know exactly what you can spend and spend it from that credit card and then have your check pay it off. Have your check pay it off. Have your check pay it off. All right. I hope this helps y'all. If y'all got any questions, comments, please leave your comments below. Let's open up some discussion. Let's really have a dialogue, man. I appreciate all y'all who've been commenting on my posts lately. It's been awesome. I got love and respect for all y'all. We're building a brighter tomorrow for all of us. Man, let's get cocky. Let's count our blessings. Let's go get it done. Y'all have an excellent day. It's your boy, and I'm out.